André Bisset is a black man in his 60s with carefully combed salt and pepper hair, wearing a modest yet elegant suit. His presence is quiet, yet it demands respect without ever seeking attention. His calm and penetrating gaze reveals the experience and wisdom acquired over decades of hard work and strategic decision-making. His impeccable silhouette radiates dignity and serenity, qualities stemming from his certainty that he has overcome life's challenges with integrity. An accomplished billionaire, Mr. Bisset is the owner of several luxury hotels in the world's major cities. His establishments are epitomes of refinement and excellent service, where each property represents a unique vision of luxury that combines comfort and sophistication with a constant search for simplicity and harmony. These hotels are celebrated not only for their grand architecture but also for the exceptional quality of service their guests receive. Every visitor feels valued, regardless of their social status. However, his financial success has never pulled him away from his core values: humility and respect for others. Despite his fortune, Mr. Bisset lives in total discretion, preferring shadow to spotlight. He rarely ventures into public life or extravagant social events. Instead, he devotes his time to charitable works and initiatives aimed at improving the living conditions of disadvantaged communities. Those who know him well can attest to his immense generosity. He is always ready to help those in need without ever seeking recognition or rewards. Mr. Bisset has always believed that true wealth lies not in material possessions but in the positive impact one has on others. His business, built with years of perseverance and dedication, is now a symbol of ethical conduct and social responsibility. His employees, whether working in Paris or New York, consistently praise his kindness, respect, and attentiveness. His leadership style is rooted in listening and understanding, no matter the circumstances. He is a rare man whose greatness is measured not only by his professional achievements but by his ability to remain grounded in the principles that have guided his life. Far from the spotlight, André Bisset embodies an ideal of discreet and authentic success, where money is merely a means and never an end. One day, André decides to visit one of his hotels in disguise to evaluate the quality of service and ensure his employees are adhering to the values he holds dear. Disguised in an old trench coat and carrying a worn-out leather suitcase, his appearance deliberately unpolished and far removed from his usual refined image, he enters the hotel through its reception area. His attire and old suitcase suggest a man of modest means, and the contrast between his appearance and the opulence of the establishment is striking. The reception area is grand, its sparkling chandeliers, plush carpets, and fine furnishings creating an air of unattainable luxury. Walls are adorned with portraits of famous artists, and imposing columns add to the sense of splendor. As André enters, however, a subtle shift occurs in the atmosphere. The employees exchange disapproving glances, some furrow their brows, others avert their gaze, shocked by his seemingly unkempt appearance. None of them recognizes him immediately, and their assumptions about his presence are clouded by superficial judgments. The receptionist, a young, well-made-up woman with evident impatience, gives him a cold look as she surveys his appearance from head to toe, her gaze lingering on his worn clothing and battered suitcase. Without even attempting to hide her irritation, she takes a deep breath and offers a forced, mechanical smile, as if accustomed to dealing with less than polished clients with condescension. "May I help you, sir?" she asks in a flat, disinterested tone, her eyes returning to the polished marble countertop. André remains composed, his serene demeanor unshaken by her cold reception. He knows exactly what he wants. "Yes, I'd like a room for 2 nights, he responds simply, his calm voice steady and unwavering. The young receptionist's irritation grows as she looks at her computer. Her response is dismissive. "I'm afraid this hotel might be a little above your means," she says with a hint of disdain, barely concealing her judgment. Perhaps you'd prefer another establishment that might better suit your profile. André remains calm, his voice gentle but firm. He can feel the weight of the employee's stares, yet he does not let himself be intimidated or humiliated. His gaze penetrates the receptionist's dismissive tone without revealing emotion. He insists, his voice steady, "If you could check again, I would greatly appreciate it." After a few minutes of tense silence and the sound of the receptionist tapping at her keyboard, she finally sighs and assigns him a room. However, her tone and attitude make it clear that she has assigned him the least desirable option, far from the luxury he might expect from one of his own properties. She offers him a room in the outskirts of the hotel, with neither a panoramic view nor the plush accommodations usually reserved for more exclusive guests. Her explanation that he had no reservation in advance is weak at best, and André accepts the key with polite resignation. He takes the key with a slight tilt of his head, signaling his acknowledgement without protest, though his gaze is sharp and observant. He ascends to his room with calm composure, scrutinizing every detail of his surroundings. His accommodations are adequate but unimpressive. The furnishings are worn, the decor less meticulous, and the small signs of neglect make it clear this room is nothing like the luxury he has come to expect from his own properties. The stay is a reflective experience. André spends his time observing the employees and their interactions with guests. He notices that they are courteous, professional, and attentive to the needs of distinguished or wealthy patrons. However, as soon as they encounter a guest like André whose appearance is deemed inappropriate, they alter their behavior. Their smiles fade, their gestures become hesitant, their attitudes colder. This discrimination is subtle but unmistakable, a series of small dismissals and unfriendly looks. André's observations continue as he sits for breakfast one morning in the hotel's restaurant. The atmosphere is calm, with elegant chandeliers casting soft light and impeccably dressed servers gliding between tables. André sits at a table in a secluded corner, his coat still on and his worn suitcase at his side. He keeps a low profile, avoiding attention. When he gestures to call a server, a young man approaches him reluctantly, his manner cold and disinterested. André can sense the server's unwillingness to assist him. "One coffee, please," André requests quietly. The server nods with little enthusiasm and heads off without hurry. André notices the server's glance at his worn leather suitcase, an object that seems intrusive against the lavish backdrop of the restaurant. Around him, businessmen and well-dressed professionals converse in low murmurs, their air of affluence clashing with André's simple presence. Nearby, André overhears a comment from a well-dressed white businessman seated at a table with a colleague. His words are dismissive, contemptuous. "Can you imagine this type of person here? What a lack of class," he murmurs, casting a glance at André. "He doesn't even know how to act. Really, he should be somewhere else." André remains composed, refusing to react to the derogatory remarks. His attention remains fixed on his coffee, his dignity intact. He does not allow anger to overtake him, choosing instead to focus on his self-control and values. The server eventually returns with his coffee, placing the cup before him with mechanical precision. André thanks him with a simple nod. The server disappears without conversation, leaving André alone with the sharp taste of coffee and the bitter undercurrent of disdain. Despite the humiliation of the incident, André reflects deeply on the behavior of the guests and employees. He understands that judgment is rooted in ignorance and prejudice. However, he refuses to let it shake his faith in himself or his principles. After a few days of careful observation, André calls a meeting with the hotel director. When he enters the meeting room, the staff becomes immediately nervous. They sense his presence but do not recognize him. His demeanor is calm, his voice deliberate as he introduces himself. I am André Visite, the owner of this establishment. Silence follows his introduction. The employees exchange uncertain glances, their confidence evaporating. André addresses their prejudices directly, expressing disappointment at their discriminatory treatment. I've observed how some guests are judged based on appearance. This kind of treatment is unacceptable. Every single guest must receive the same level of service, regardless of their background. The director looks shaken. The employees' expressions shift from skepticism to shame. André's words leave no doubt, change is necessary, and he will ensure that it happens. His presence and message are powerful, his calm and assured tone brooking no resistance. André concludes his remarks with a pointed observation: a hotel is a home for everyone. It must offer welcome without judgment, without distinction. If you cannot commit to this, then you have no place in this establishment. The meeting concludes, the air in the room heavy with shame and realization. André departs the meeting room, his resolve stronger than ever. His observations have led him to an important conclusion: real success lies not only in material wealth but in ensuring fairness, dignity, and equality for all. André will continue his work ensuring that his employees embrace these values and embody them in their daily lives.